Ladies recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, for many years my perspective of human trafficking was based off of a scene I had seen in a movie. It was a scene where a father came to a playground and took the hand of his 6-year-old daughter, took her off to have sex with someone, and then brought her back to play. And that was a scene from a country far, far away, but it changed me forever. And oftentimes when I think about human trafficking or sex trafficking, over those years I would think about it being far, far away from home. But then I began to learn about what a problem we have here in the United States, and that it's not just happening in other countries, that it happens here. It happens in states like New York and Florida and California, but it also happens in South Dakota. And that's devastating for me for many reasons, because not only do I have children, I have 2 daughters, and I know that the average age that a young girl is trafficked is between the ages of 12 and 14. I have a son who's 12. The average age of boys who are trafficked is between the ages of 11 and 13. And I cannot imagine my children having to go through what some of these victims have to go through. I also spent my life involved in many different youth organizations. I've been a children's minister for many years. I still teach Sunday school. I've been involved with 4-H. So I've spent my life with kids, trying to help their lives to become better so that they can build the kind of traits and character that they need to benefit the world. And I recognize that many children don't have those opportunities, yet I see the devastating effects of this industry here in our country. They say one of the first steps to recovery is admitting that you have a problem. And we have got a huge problem in this country. And that is why you will find these bills on the House floor today, is because we want to make sure that we not only recognize that there's a problem, but that we give our law enforcement officers as many tools as possible to get rid of this industry and to help as many victims as possible. Hundreds of thousands of children are trafficked every single year in the United States. Most of these victims are women and girls, and many come from tough backgrounds that have led them to the situation that they're in today. But did you know that most of them, if they are involved in the sex trafficking industry, are forced to have sex 25 to 48 times a day? That is unfathomable to me. So we as a nation have a responsibility to do everything that we can to prevent trafficking. And when prevention efforts fail, we have a responsibility to help those victims recover. I know many of my colleagues today have also made this a priority, and I'm grateful for their leadership on this issue. Last year, we passed many of these bills through this House, but they got hung up in the Senate, even though they were extremely bipartisan over here in the House. So that's why they're back again today. It's because we need to get these bills signed into law to save our children. And now as we begin the 114th Congress, our resolve is brought forward again to fight against human trafficking. And I'm grateful for everyone here today who has sponsored the bills, who has worked on behalf of these bills, and I'm grateful for their leadership to make sure that we pass these bills and we get them signed into law. The bill that I have sponsored here today is going to make sure that when we spend federal resources, that it's spent in a manner that's going to actually help kids and help people get out of this industry. It's going to make sure that we're cooperating with nonprofits and other organizations who've been involved in the industry before, that we're being effective while we put those efforts forward. And then it's going to make sure that we have the dollars available to have shelters for those victims who are trying to come out of this situation. We have less than 200 beds available for victims in this country who want to recover, that want to heal, and want to get on to a life pursuing the American dream, like so many other people in this country have. That's why this bill is important. That's why all of these bills are important, why we need to pass them. And Madam Speaker, with that, I'll yield back.
Lady.